support 4K. We just changed the input resolution. It's just the reason it says 1080p or 4K is that's based on what it's made for. Just like I could have a graphics card that doesn't support 4K and really stretch the performance of my graphics card to play 4K. Well, if your graphics card's technically powerful enough, there's really no point to have that. Most people have G-Sync. It's not that, like, obviously if I had a G-Sync monitor, I would enable it. But I'm saying, you don't need to pay extra for that. It's not required. It's more of, it works more fluently through cheaper graphics cards. Doesn't mean, but they're not better. They're only better because of the most support, but they actually lack features. But yeah, but the architecture may be different every year, but the actual, like, graphics card design and the way it functions is like 10 years outdated. That's the only reason it has more support. If something's newer, it's gonna have what's it called? It's gonna have less support, but it's gonna have newer features. And all you have to do is wait for them to update it, update the drivers and everything. Well, the only reason they do it is because the company, obviously if you're gonna be partnered with a company, be partnered with a company that has more money. So it's not always the fact that it's better because just because it's in the most common graphics card in the most common PCs does not always mean it's better. Sometimes it's like a lot of Intel CPUs are in laptops instead of AMD. The reason is it's not because Intel's better, because based on pure gaming performance, if you only count core counts and stuff, it's actually worse Intel is. The only reason they do it is like obviously Razer, they have Intel processors in the laptops. Obviously, as a company standpoint, you want to be partnered with the company that is going to have more money. Because if they have more money, they're going to pay you more to sponsor with them. And partner with them. But, just because they have more money does not always mean they're better. That just means they know how to sell things. But doesn't mean the actual product is better. It kind of depends. Like, if your names are creative enough for your parts, or like you're good at selling things and ripping people off, then obviously you're gonna make a lot of money. But doesn't mean your product is better. That's just kind of the way it works. So obviously, if NVIDIA or AMD offered you a sponsorship and you had to pick one, obviously you would go Logically, AMD would make sense because they have the newer architecture, newer nanometer, and everything. But NVIDIA, as a financial reason, would make more sense. Because they have more money, they have more money to give you. Doesn't mean they'll actually give you more money, it's just, it would make sense that they would be able to. And not worry about the finances. Molly! Yes. What the? What the hell is he? Stream has disconnected. Okay, that's nice. No. It went off for like 30 seconds and came back online. When it gets super humid out, or it's too extra windy, my internet acts up for some reason. I think it's just based on location, not because my internet is crappy. Nice. So yeah, Valorant and CSGO, they're pretty fun. They're not as fast-paced as Call of Duty, because they're not meant to be. So if you like more fast-paced games, but less strategy involved, then play Call of Duty. But if you want more strategy, slower-paced gameplay as an FPS game, then get Valorant or CSGO or something like that. Okay. But Call of Duty has objective-based game modes too, so if you do it that way, then you get kind of both. Grab this. AK is good. What the hell? Oh, I got it. Nice. Ooh, I got first place right now. Just based on kills, obviously. Where the fuck is the bomb? Are you supposed to be disabling it? When you forget if you're supposed to be disabling it or not? Shit, I did. No, we're not. So I went that way for nothing then. Silent could probably play this game very easily with his computer. Because the requirements is not that high and it's free. But obviously if you're playing a more competitive game than Minecraft. But that's why you don't play on the competitive mode. Obviously, if your internet is trash, you don't play competitive modes. You play the casual. So it's like CSGO, Overwatch, and a bit of COD at some points, but not really. It's unique. That's why I like it. It's like similar to a game I already liked, but changed up a bit, which makes it cool. Like, basically the way CSGO and Valorant work is I'm not comparing the two. Technically, I'm just saying they're similar in the way they work. It's slow pace, but requires a lot of teamwork and strategy, which I like. But at certain moments, it might be faster pace. The reason is you can't technically run. So you, wait, what you do is you do run default, but you know how usually with some games you have to push a sprint button to go faster? You can't do that because you're already running at a higher speed than most games. It's just it feels slower is because the maps are bigger. Oh, have you ever played Rainbow Six Siege? That is slow at the start, but once you enter the building, if you're on like the team that basically enters, whatever it's called, I don't remember exactly. It's slow because you have to enter a building, but once you enter it, it gets really, really intense. That I did not mean to do. Now, if you're the defending team, then it's usually slower paced because all you have to do is just wait for them to come in. The smoke thing, a lot of people say it would be overkill, but it's not as overkill as it used to be. Though, yes, you could do multiple smoke things, but there's actually ability where you can see through the smoke if you have that character. So you know how a lot of abilities instantly, like usually if an ability that you have where it's not an ability only based game, like Overwatch, they have abilities, but most of the abilities don't actually do damage. They kind of just assist you. Like they might do damage, but they might not just one-shot someone or kill someone as fast as a gun. It's kind of like, you could have the most overkill ability in Valorant, but if you're not good at map strategy, like strategies and teamwork, then there's like no point to have it, because it's overkill if you're good at the game. It's not like one of those things anyone can pick up and instantly get kills. Because if that was the case, then it would be super overpowered. Kind of like how a sniper in Call of Duty and Battlefield, pretty overpowered because it one-shot kills most of the time. But if you suck at sniping fast enough or quickscoping, then it's not as powerful as it seems. Yeah. Like, it looks kind of complicated with the abilities, but once you start, it's kind of one of those things. It looks complicated, one of those games that it looks complicated, but once you start playing it, then you're like, oh, it's not as complicated as it seems. I want to try this gun, the Bulldog. I heard that's really good. Except CSGO, you could B-hop. This you could B-hop, but it's not really noticeable. Actually, I think you can only B-hop in custom servers. Do you know what B-hopping is? So basically what you do is you take out your knife, and like, usually it originated from, what's it called? CSGO. And, what you do is you take out your knife since you move faster with your knife compared to actual weapon. Because it's lighter. And then what you do is you swing side to side as you like move your directional keys. And you use the momentum of that to get you to move faster. So it's almost like you're hopping in the air. Like temporarily. Makes sense? Hello? Oh. I clicked the audio thing. I'm like, why can't I hear your voice? Like, I like how it's a scroll wheel, which makes it smoother so you don't have to remember to push a button. But I wish it was a button. It would be less simple, but since if it was a button, you don't accidentally click it. What? Because like if it's a scroll wheel and you like push your head back to fall on your chair, you could accidentally like scroll the wheel and then mess everything up. Of course, they scatter my mini-map. My middle map. Apparently I don't know how to speak either. Yeah, just they're like, nope. So long for you being able to see your map. Not that I really use it because of the game I'm playing. You base it off of sound. It's more of when you're using certain abilities, it requires you to use a map. And if the map is if you can't see the map, you're kind of out of luck. Kind of have to guess. Nice. We still lost though. That would be annoying. Oh, well, they have something similar to that in Call of Duty games. They've had it for years. It's usually a perk. And it makes it so enemies can't hear your footsteps. But it doesn't do it in the way you said it. So it's a little less overpowered. Actually, no. Technically, it's more overpowered. Because at least if they just make it so you can't pinpoint it, you still know an enemy is around. You're still aware. No, I feel like that's overpowered. If you know how to use it, obviously. A character that makes knives, throwing knives, float in the air and then just throw like 8 of them at the enemy at once. As you're shooting the enemy. So you're like doing splash damage towards the enemy as you're able to shoot the enemy. Definitely. I'm doing decent, it's just my team sucks. Uh-huh. Well, my scoreboard's only high because I'm getting kills. But sometimes it's not always about the objective. Like, if you can manage to get kills well enough, that can also help you towards the objective, because if there's less people on a team, there's less to push the objective, and less to defend. Stop trying to use that sniper as a quick-scoping machine. It's usually a 2-shot kill. There is an ability, though, where a character can teleport. Doesn't that sound fair? But that's why the more powerful abilities are called your ult abilities. It takes like, I think it takes like 10 minutes of at least 2 rounds for you to unlock it, or you have to go to like these circle things on the ground and pick them up for it to load. Basically, the more powerful ability is more rare to get. So that way it's not made to rely on. I did not mean to do that. That was a dumb mistake. When you click the lawn ability and like almost kill yourself with it when you meant to click smoke. So, well, I did damage to myself. So what it is, it's basically an orbital strike, right? So like an airstrike thing. And I meant to click the smoke to spawn in smoke. But instead, I ended up using the orbital strike. So instead of putting smoke on me, which doesn't do damage, it just makes it so people are hard to see me and everything. I clicked the orbital strike. So the spawn thing is not as powerful. Well, it's more powerful than Counter-Strike. Obviously, because Counter-Strike in other games, you have to manually throw the smoke, right? This you could just spawn it in, I think at 1, 2, 3, 4 locations. And then you could do it like 3 more times after a certain delay. So that sounds powerful, but because the maps are so big, it's not as powerful as it seems. What makes it also less powerful is the fact that you have to spawn it in. If you throw a grenade, yes, you have to reveal yourself more. Like out in the open. But at the same time, throwing a grenade is somewhat better because you could throw it around corners without having to go through a menu. If you go through a menu to throw smoke, then that gives you a chance for your teammates to peek you around the corner and kill you. And then my character also has like a beacon that you throw on the ground. And what it does is it increases your fire rate. It like doubles it. Which, depending on the gun, obviously that could be very overpowered. Because if the gun does... Because sometimes it's not always about how much damage the gun does. It could do low damage, but if you get enough shots off target in a faster amount of time, technically you're doing more damage. It's just, since it has less damage per shot, you have to be extra accurate and more skilled. But you can't, again, you can't really be skilled if the fire rate is too high. Like, there's a gun in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. It doesn't do the most amount of damage compared to other submachine guns, but because the fire rate is so high, it makes up for it if you're accurate. Yeah. Because basically, 10 rounds in under a few minutes is gonna... At one, like, area of the body is gonna do more damage than one big round. Depending on the gun. Yeah. But, the way Call of Duty works is the damage, dealt isn't based on just the weapon. So it's been this way since, like, Modern Warfare 1, I think. And basically what it is instead is those hit points. So if you shoot someone in the head, it's going to do more damage. Obviously. You shoot him in the leg, it's going to do, like, 10% damage. You shoot him in the foot, it's going to do, like, 5%. And that kind of thing. While some games, like, Battlefield and those kind of games, the damage is more based on the weapon. And if you get a headshot, it's always a one-shot kill. So Call of Duty, it's not just based on the weapon, it's based on where you hit them at. Like some... So, basically in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, with one of the really popular sniper rifles that people would quickscope a lot because it's lightweight, so you can move around easily with it. It's called the Ballista, right? It does the second most amount of damage compared to all those sniper rifles, but it doesn't do the most. So it says faster handling. So you can like quickscope faster. Less accurate though, just because it's lighter. So even if the bullet is bigger, it's gonna have more recoil. But if the bullet is smaller, it's gonna if the bullet is smaller but the gun is lighter, even though the bullet is smaller, you would assume it's gonna have less recoil and be more accurate. Well, not really, because since the gun is lighter, if the gun is heavier, usually the weight of the gun is pulling down the recoil more, even if the bullet is bigger. That's why you don't want a giant sniper rifle that is super lightweight, because it's gonna just go flying out of your hand. Like, realistically. No. It'd probably, like, hit you in the face. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing, but okay. A robot that you could just spawn in, have it fly towards someone, and then blow them up. Like, not fly, but, like, drive, basically, towards them. So basically with the Ballista in Black Ops 2, if you shoot them in like the upper chest area, it would do a 2-shot. You shoot them in the head, it will do a 1-shot. You shoot them in the lower chest, like below the heart area, but still considered to be in the chest, it would be like a 3-shot kill. And then anything below that would be a 4 or 5. Or even a 6. If it's like the leg. Versus the more powerful gun, which is not as easy to use, but it's more powerful. Basically, the way that gun works is it's a 2-shot kill, lower chest, 2-shot kill upper chest, and 1-shot kill head. And then like between like your chest and your neck area, it's like a 1-shot kill. Which obviously, technically, wouldn't that make most sense as a sniper? Because naturally, anyone who snipes is just naturally aiming at the chest or above. So obviously you're gonna kill someone faster, which means they have less time to kill you. It's just the gun is harder to use. Yeah, so it's basically body multipliers. 3 more games to unlock competitive. And I've been playing this for like about 3 weeks.